If you're waiting for Apple, Amazon, or Google to launch their own volatile cryptocurrencies so you can trade them, you fundamentally misunderstand the 2026 market. The era of big tech trying to create proprietary, walled garden digital currencies, like Meta's catastrophic failure with the Diem project, is completely over. In 2026, big tech does not want the regulatory nightmare of launching a consumer token. They want the enterprise revenue of hosting the network. This guide breaks down exactly how the three largest cloud providers on Earth, Amazon Web Services, AWS, Google Cloud, and Microsoft Azure, have quietly monopolized the back end of Web3. We will cover their specific infrastructure plays, how they are weaponizing AI for smart contract development, and the massive centralization paradox this creates for the entire decentralized economy. The strategy: selling shovels in a gold rush. During the 1849 California gold rush, the people who made the most reliable fortunes were not the miners. They were the merchants selling the pickaxes and shovels. Big tech has adopted this exact strategy for Web3. They do not care if the price of Ethereum goes to $1 million or drops to zero. They care that the networks processing those assets require massive, uninterrupted computing power, petabytes of data storage, and sub-millisecond latency. Whether it is a decentralized exchange executing trades, a high-frequency trading bot analyzing on-chain data, or a traditional bank tokenizing real estate, they all need enterprise-grade servers. By seamlessly integrating blockchain tools into their existing cloud environments, AWS, Google, and Microsoft have made themselves the mandatory toll booths for the next generation of financial infrastructure. Amazon Web Services, AWS, the backbone of validators. Amazon Web Services is the undisputed heavyweight champion of Web3 hosting. If you look at the node distribution of major networks, a staggering percentage of the underlying hardware is actually sitting in AWS data centers. Amazon's flagship product in this sector is Amazon Managed Blockchain, AMB. Historically, if a developer wanted to build a Web3 application, they had to manually provision a server, download the entire blockchain history, which takes days, and constantly monitor the node to ensure it didn't fall out of sync. AMB eliminates this. It is a fully managed service. A developer clicks a button, and AWS instantly deploys a secure, fully synced, enterprise-grade node for Ethereum, Polygon, or Bitcoin. Beyond basic node hosting, in 2026, AWS is heavily targeting institutional finance. They are providing the secure infrastructure, specifically using hardware-isolated environments called AWS Nitro Enclaves, to help traditional financial institutions tokenize real-world assets, RWAs, and manage institutional-grade crypto wallets securely. They are not building consumer decentralized apps, they are building the digital bank vaults. Google Cloud, the indexer and enterprise validator. While AWS focuses heavily on raw compute, Google Cloud is leaning into what it does best: indexing and processing ungodly amounts of data. Google's primary weapon is the Google Cloud Blockchain Node Engine. Similar to AWS, it provides fully managed node hosting. However, Google has actively positioned itself as a direct participant in the ecosystem. Rather than just selling the server space, Google Cloud has officially stepped in to act as an institutional validator for major Layer 1 networks, such as Injective and Solana. They are actively securing the networks, validating transactions, and contributing to the chain's consensus. But Google's true differentiator in 2026 is BigQuery. A blockchain is a terrible database to search. If you want to find every transaction made by a specific wallet over the last 3 years, querying a raw node will take forever. Google solves this by constantly indexing major blockchains, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Arbitrum, Avalanche, and dumping that data into BigQuery public datasets. This means Web3 developers and data analysts do not need to build complex indexing infrastructure from scratch. They can simply write standard SQL queries directly in Google Cloud to instantly analyze on-chain data. By making blockchain data as accessible as standard web traffic, Google has become the default analytics engine for Web3. Microsoft Azure, the AI and interoperability play Microsoft, has taken a distinctly different path. A few years ago, they quietly retired their proprietary Azure blockchain service. In 2026, they understand that the future relies on public blockchains, and their strategy is entirely focused on artificial intelligence and interoperability. Microsoft's trump card is its massive investment in OpenAI. They are aggressively marrying Azure OpenAI services with Web3 development. Through deep partnerships with Layer 1 networks like Aptos, Microsoft has developed AI assistants that bridge the gap between Web 2 and Web 3. For everyday users, these AI chatbots decode the complexities of blockchain transactions in natural language. For developers, Microsoft's AI tools, integrated with GitHub Copilot, are explicitly trained to audit smart contracts, write Solidity code, and instantly deploy decentralized applications via Azure. Furthermore, Microsoft is deeply invested in the interchain future. They have partnered with interoperability protocols like Axelar to offer blockchain data integration directly through the Azure Marketplace. Microsoft is building the translation layer that allows a traditional enterprise database hosted on Azure to seamlessly trigger a smart contract on a public blockchain. They aren't trying to own the blockchain, they are trying to own the APIs that connect everything else to it. The elephant in the room, the decentralization paradox. This brings us to the most critical and uncomfortable reality of Web 3 in 2026, the decentralization paradox. We call these networks decentralized. We celebrate that no single government or corporation controls Bitcoin or Ethereum. But if 50% to 60% of the validator nodes securing those networks are physically hosted inside AWS and Google Cloud data centers, are they actually decentralized? If Amazon or Google executives woke up tomorrow and decided to abruptly ban all blockchain-related IP addresses from their cloud services, major Web3 networks would experience catastrophic, immediate degradation. The blockchain itself wouldn't die. The mathematical code is global, but the physical infrastructure running it would instantly collapse, causing massive outages for decentralized exchanges and wallets. This existential threat has sparked the most important counter-movement in 2026. DEPIN, Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Networks. DEPIN protocols are actively trying to crowdsource the physical hardware layer. They financially incentivize regular people to run independent servers, storage drives, and GPUs in their homes and local businesses, creating a truly decentralized, censorship-resistant cloud to rival AWS. The battle of this decade is no longer between different blockchains. It is between the centralized cloud giants and the decentralized hardware resistance. Conclusion: Big Tech did not ignore crypto. They simply waited for the speculative noise to die down. In 2026, Google, Amazon, and Microsoft have successfully positioned themselves as the inescapable bedrock of the Web3 economy. They provide the nodes, they index the data, and they inject the AI required to make smart contracts legible to the masses. Understanding their specific infrastructure monopolies is mandatory if you want to know where the actual power resides in decentralized finance. You cannot truly understand Web3 software without understanding big tech hardware.